From entertainment to information in the studios of the Grenada Broadcasting Network, it's time now for the luncheon edition of news. Coming up in the news, Grenada is taking steps to strengthen its startup industry through a 3-year food safety modernization project. In the region, 12 Guyanese nationals deported from the U.S. On the international front, Putin and Zelensky likely to meet for peace talks. And in sport, no FIFA plan for Italy to replace Iran at the World Cup. We have details to these plus other stories when we return. The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Brighton and Miners.
Fire up the coals, bring the flavor. It's time to crown the King of the Grill. Maggie King of the Grill 2026 is calling you. Think you got the creativity, the skills, and the fire to rule the grill? This is the ultimate showdown for chefs, backyard masters, and the food lovers alike. Step up, show your talent, and claim your spot among the best. With over $5,000 in cash and prizes to be won, the stakes has never been hotter. Happening Saturday, May the 30th. Register now. Call or WhatsApp 407-8458. But hurry, registration close April the 30th. Don't wait. Bring your fire, bring your flavor.
Thanks for joining us. With the details, I am Christlina John. Grenada is taking steps to strengthen its startup industry through a new 3-year food safety modernization project led by the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry. The initiative, supported by the Food and Agricultural Organization and the Standards and Trade Development Facility, aims to improve food safety systems, boost standards, and expand export opportunities for local startups. Farmers, exporters, and extension officers recently gathered at the National Stadium for a training exercise focused on good agricultural practices, including food safety, traceability, and export requirements. Chief Agricultural Officer Thaddeus Peters emphasized the importance of aligning local farming practices with global standards.
So it's critical because given that for quite a while we had been able to export to the U.S. Free of our 2 quarantine pests. That in itself is changing with other treatment being available for other countries to access that market. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is basically on food safety. US is implementing, for the last 10 years, has been implementing the food safety rules. And as they continue to implement, we begin to feel the crunch in that aspect. So our role is to ensure that our food safety system becomes aligned across the board with international standards.
The project is being guided by international consultants with extensive experience in agricultural certification and food safety. Its main goal is to help selected producers achieve global GAP certification by November 2026, ensuring continued access to key markets like the United States while opening new opportunities.
We are here to help you to be more competitive. And having a third-party certification is a way of adding value to your business and also to become more resilient. And it's important that you implement third-party certifications so somebody else can throw the flowers to you. It's not every farmer always say they are the best, but if you have a third party saying that you are good, that's even better for the business. So and also being flexible, changing where the wind goes, but never dying.
That was Ricardo Anita Maniem, a senior agribusiness and market systems specialist. So far, 2 exporters have been selected, and assessments are underway to identify areas of improvement. Training and capacity building will continue as stakeholders work together to strengthen Grenada's startup industry for the future. Significant progress is being made to improve water access for farmers in Carriacou under a major land management and climate resilient initiative. The project, known as the Carriacou ILM project, aims to strengthen ecosystem resilience while supporting climate resilient food systems. Officials say the initiative is already helping to enhance irrigation, boost food production, and increase livestock capacity, ultimately improving farmers' livelihoods and earning potential.
This scope of the project is complete at the present time. The fencing and the refurbishment of the catchment area. But later on we looking forward to install black tanks and a solar pump system which is going to take water from the storage into the tanks so that the farmers now in this community could gain access. Although our main focus is on the farmers, we are not limiting the use of the water only to farmers. There might be householders in the community during time of scarcity and shortage that should be able to come in and get a couple barrels or buckets, as the case might be. All right, but for the farmers in particular, it's going to greatly enhance their capability of producing throughout the year. Although most of them may have black tanks of their own, but in the peak of the dry spell, it could be very rough, and most of the time they would either have to stop production or truck in water, which will be a significant cost to the production.
The project is being executed by the Partnership Initiative for Sustainable Land Management with funding from the Global Environment Facility. Technical support is being provided by the United Nations Environment Programme. Authorities say the initiative forms part of broader efforts to promote sustainable agriculture and build resilience in the face of climate change. Meanwhile, farmers in Carriacou and Petite Martinique are boosting their productivity and climate resilience after receiving training in micro-sprinkler and drip irrigation systems. 12 farmers benefited from the initiative, which included both irrigation equipment and hands-on training made possible through the G-Cruise Challenge Fund for Agriculture. The program promotes The program promotes water-efficient technologies to help farmers better manage limited water resources, especially during dry periods. With these systems, farmers can deliver water directly to crops, reducing waste and improving efficiency, while gaining the skills to install and maintain the equipment themselves. Farmers say the training will support year-round production, conserve water, and improve food security. The project, supported by the international partners and the government of Grenada, aims to strengthen climate resilience within the country's agriculture and water sectors. The Rural Development Unit is moving ahead with the second phase of the Climate Smart Agriculture and Rural Enterprise Program, following new funding support from the Caribbean Development Bank. The program, being implemented in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Forestry, will focus on irrigation and infrastructure development across the Tri-Island state. Two major projects are set to begin in 2026 in St. David: the rehabilitation of the Badia Bridge and the Rookin Farm Road access. These upgrades are expected to improve farm-to-market access for at least 25 farmers in the area. As part of the process, the Rural Development Unit will host a stakeholder engagement meeting at the Ministry of Agriculture's Southern District Office in Las Vegas, which aims to update farmers and other stakeholders on the scope and timeliness of the projects, while also gathering feedbacks to support smooth implementation. And finally, on the local front, Grenada's Inland Revenue Division is concluding its regional workshop on compliance risk management today. The 4-day event held at the Radisson Grenada Beach Resort brought together senior officials and technical experts from tax administrations across the Caribbean. Supported by the International Monetary Fund's Fiscal Affairs Department, the workshop was part of the Global Public Finance Partnerships Community of Practice. Its main aim is to strengthen compliance risk management programs and make tax administration more effective, efficient, and fair. Sheena Lewis, Comptroller at the Inland Revenue Division, described the initiative as an important step towards modernizing tax administration in the region. By working together, countries are moving towards a data-driven, risk-based approach to ensure fairness for all taxpayers. Throughout the week, participants took part in technical sessions and shared country experiences. The final day includes the development of an action plan and opportunities for peer collaboration. On this note, we end the first segment of the news, which came to your compliments, Brighton and Miners. Do stay with us.
My name is Tanisha Marsha from Gulf St. John's. For the past 15 years, I've been listening to Classic and Hot FM, the best news station ever. Kudos to GBN.
GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. And now for a look at what's making news across our region. Well, the U.S. authorities have extradited 12 Guyanese nationals back to their home country. We have details of this and other stories in today's regional roundup from the OCM News Network. This segment of the news comes to you compliments Fortune Foods Limited.
I think part of the problem we have, and this is not unique to cardiology, but this concept of checkup is going for review. So for example, women are probably better at, they have the mammogram, they have the pap smear, an older patient may have a schedule with a healthcare clinic. So a lot of people in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s don't think of our healthcare as being part of a proactive thing. So they're waiting for something to happen, then go to the doctor.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
The Guyana Police Force has confirmed that 12 nationals have been deported by the authorities in the United States. According to police in Guyana, the 12 were interviewed by the relevant authorities in the U.S. yesterday. 10 were released for deportation after their interviews, and 2 were taken into police custody. According to a statement from the police in Guyana, a 42-year-old man whose address is not yet known, along with a 35-year-old man of no fixed address, were detained. Police say the 2 men were kept in relation to the offences of murder and domestic violence. For those offences, they were deported. Police have not yet revealed the reasons or the details behind the deportations of the other 10. The U.S. government has been stepping up its deportation of illegal immigrants and foreign nationals linked to criminal activities. In Trinidad and Tobago, the officer charged in connection with the killing of Municipal Corporal Anushka Eversley is Javon Cooper. 4 charges, including 1 for murder, have been laid against the 28-year-old. Corporal Eversley was found dead at the station in San Fernando last Sunday morning. Guns and ammunition were also stolen. Yesterday, Police Constable Cooper was charged with robbery with violence, trafficking of firearms, and possession of ammunition. The Director of Public Prosecutions, Roger Gaspard, Senior Counsel, on Tuesday gave the go-ahead for the police constable to be charged. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar says from information shared with her, something has been happening at the King's Wharf Municipal Police Station for quite some time now. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar yesterday said it appeared that supervision at the station was lacking.
I think the TTPS and the Commissioner of Police are doing a fantastic job. They work very quickly. They have removed the head of the organization, Municipal Police, Mr. Sagram Singh, I think he was, because that has not been happening today. We discovered it today, or on that day. That has, I think one of the officers in an interview talked about over 8 months, about 8 months that has been going on. So there has not been proper supervision of what is happening in the municipal police.
9 other suspects have been detained and 43 firearms along with 929 rounds of ammunition have been recovered. And a resident of the Seas Court in Barbados and Consul General in New York, Lorenzo Harewood, is condemning the latest act of gun violence on the island. He is very concerned after gunmen on a motorcycle opened fire near the Seas Court Day Nursery on Tuesday this week. The incident sent members of staff, parents, and nearby residents into a panic. Speaking with Starcom Network News, Mr. Harewood said yesterday the incident has deeply unsettled the community. He is now encouraging residents to support the police and any other effort to address the situation.
So let me join with the government and, of course, the people of Barbados by condemning these reckless people and also appealing to people to give the authorities the maximum support in their investigations. You know, we cannot be selling a scenario of adaptation to the evolving situation, adaptation and acceptance. Of course not. We must mitigate and fight back against it. And these persons are plaguing our society. As I said 3 years ago in the Senate, I say it again, crime is a multifaceted development, and as such, the approach must be multidisciplinary. Now, I follow these events on a daily basis or whenever they do occur. But what I want to say is that I will be particularly following this one as it is certainly a place where I consider still definitely to be my home in Sears Court.
Mr. Harewood also pointed to an infiltration happening across various communities, which he believes should not be overlooked. Recent killings in Barbados have triggered concerns about the crime situation.
Have you heard about the new...
And now for a look further afield, while Russian President that should read Vladimir Putin could meet Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, but only for the purpose of finalizing a peace agreement and engaging the 4-year-long conflict. Here's more in this report.
The Kremlin said that President Putin is ready to meet Volodymyr Zelensky in Moscow at any moment, but such a meeting would have to be productive and would only be for the purpose of finalizing agreements settling the Ukraine conflict. This comes as Zelensky renewed calls for trilateral peace talks with Russia, despite the United States being currently focused on Iran. Kyiv earlier repeated it's open to Zelensky-Putin meeting anywhere except for Moscow and Belarus capital Minsk. Meanwhile, Turkey, who has maintained good ties with both Ukraine and Russia, is making efforts to bring together the leaders of the warring sides in Ankara to discuss ways to end the 4-year-long conflict.
The U.S. ceasefire with Iran is holding, but both sides have intercepted vessels in and near the Strait of Hormuz as the U.S. blockade continues. Meanwhile, the German government is blaming the war for its weak economic forecast. The ruling coalition has slashed its expectations and now estimates that Europe's largest economy will only grow by 0.5% this year.
The initial forecast was for the German economy to grow by 4% this year. But as the conflict with Iran drags on, sending energy prices soaring, that estimate has been slashed in half. The German Economy Ministry says economic developments will depend crucially on a resolution to the fighting. But even then, it warns that high energy costs and supply chain disruptions will likely persist. The downgrade was widely expected, with the International Monetary Fund also slashing its global outlook.
Good afternoon, sporting fans, and now for a look at what's ahead for the World Cup, which comes up in June. FIFA has dismissed any plans to replace Iran with Italy at this summer's World Cup, despite a proposal from U.S. envoy Paolo Zampoli. The suggestions came amid ongoing uncertainty surrounding Iran's participation due to geopolitical tensions. But FIFA President Gianni Infantino has already confirmed that Iran will compete in the tournament. Iran's government strongly rejects the proposal, while Italian officials also push back, emphasizing the World Cup qualification must be earned on the field. Four-time champions Italy national football team failed to qualify for a third straight tournament after a recent playoff loss, making any late inclusions unlikely. The World Cup kicks off on June 11th across the United States, Canada and Mexico, with Iran scheduled to face New Zealand, Belgium and Egypt in the group stage. And that's your sporting highlights. Do stay with us for a recap of the headlines when we return. Recapping the headlines that made the news today, Grenada is taking steps to strengthen its startup industry through a 3-year food safety modernization project. In the region, 12 Guyanese nationals deported from the U.S. On the international front, Putin and Zelensky likely to meet for peace talks. And in sport, no FIFA plans for Italy to replace Iran at the World Cup. This has brought us to the end of the luncheon edition of news for today, Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. On behalf of the entire news team, I have been your presenter, Christlina John, thanking you for having joined us.